All right, hey guys, today we are going to do some more problems with triangles. So we're going to finish lesson 7.2. Please have your notebook out, your calculator, and your math book ready to go. All right, as a quick little warm-up, we are going to try just this problem here. It says, which number is equivalent to 4 to the third times 4 to the negative first? So you guys might remember if you have something like x squared times x to the third, that's x times x times x times x times x. A shortcut is you can add those. I get x to the fifth. So same thing here, 4 to the third times 4 to the negative first. I can add those and I end up with 4 squared. All right, now I don't see that as a choice over here, but I do know 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16, which is a choice. All right, so our learning intention for today is that we can, we're looking at the angles in a triangle, and we're going to be able to find some exterior angles using the relationship between an exterior angle and two remote interior angles, and I'll show you what that means. All right, so a quick recap of yesterday. We learned that the angles inside a triangle are called interior angles, and then the angles outside a triangle are called exterior, like angle 5, angle 4, angle 6. So we learned that yesterday. We also learned that if I ask you for remote interior angles, so if I take this angle on the outside, angle 4, the remote interior angles are the two angles on the inside that are kind of like the furthest away from it. Okay, so again, just as a quick review, if I say which two are remote interior to angle 5, I would say 1 and 2. They're on the inside, furthest away. All right, so we are going to go in your notebook, and you can either go on the page from yesterday if you still have space. Otherwise, you can start a new page, and it's still triangles. So I want you to go ahead, and I want you to draw this picture. And now this is not going to be to scale, so it might not be drawn exactly perfect. So I'm going to tell you that this angle here and this angle here are 40 and 60. Okay, we are going to try to find the other two angles using kind of what we know. So we're going to try to find that blue or that green angle and then this blue angle. All right, so hopefully first thing you remember is in a triangle, there are 180 degrees. So if I look at this triangle, I have already 40 and 60, which is 100. Okay, so so if I add these two, I get 100, and then I could do 180, take away 100, and I'm left with 80. So that means this angle has to be 80. Now we also know, I'm just going to use a different color, that these two together make 180. So if this one's 80, this one has to be 100 to make 180. So we just found all of those angles. Okay, let's draw another one out. So again, I'm going to draw another triangle. Oops. And I am going to tell you that this time, this angle is 80, and this one is 33 degrees. Okay, I want to know, can I find this one and this one? All right, so first thing that you would do is start in the triangle. You know those make 180. So I'm going to add 80 plus 33. So if I do 80 plus 33, I end up with 113 degrees. Okay, so now if I want to find that question mark here, I'm going to do 180, take away 113. So if I do 180, take away 113, I end up with 67. So this angle here is 67 degrees. Okay, now if I want to find this one, I'm going to do 180, take away 67, which is 113. Now I want you to kind of think, do you notice anything about these two remote interior angles and this exterior angle? Do you notice anything about these two remote interior and this exterior? Pause the video and just think about that. What do you notice about the remote interior and the exterior angles? All right, hopefully you notice that if you actually, I'm just going to grab pink here. If you add the two interior angles, these are called remote interior angles, they're equal to this exterior angle. Same thing here. If I added these two, they make 113, and this outside one is also 113. All right, so the cool thing, and we're going to write this down in our notes, is if we're going to say the measure of an exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. All right, so that is kind of the special little rule. Now, if you forget that, you can use other things to find the angles, but that will be helpful when we solve some problems today. So here's an example you could draw in your notes again. If I was asking you this angle A here, you could quickly find it by using that exterior angle theorem that we just talked about. So if I add the two remote interior, 55 and 60, that equals 115. So this exterior angle should also be 115. Now, if you weren't sure, or you forgot that, that's not a big deal. You can add these three in the triangle and come up with it that way. So again, you could do 55 plus 60, oops, which is 115, which we know that already. And then do 180, take away 115, and I get 65. And then you know that these two make 180, so you could get the 115. So now let's try a couple in your math book. And if you prefer to do some of these in your notebook, you can if you want to draw some out. But I have a picture of a beach chair, and you can obviously see the triangle here. All right, and then it kind of extends here, and they named this angle 1, 2, and 3. So let's see what they tell us. It says the measure of angle 2 is 55 degrees, and the measure of angle 3 is 60 degrees. So I'm going to label those. So angle 2 is 55 degrees, angle 3 is 60 degrees. It says, can you find angle 1? Well, this is just actually like the one we just did. So if I add 55 and 60, that's going to be equal to this exterior angle, which is 115. So I just solved that one. All right, let's take a look at this next one. Again, sometimes it's hard to see the picture. I'll try to highlight it here, but here is my triangle. I'll even just redraw it. So here's that triangle, and then it kind of extends out here. This is angle 1, here's 2, here's 3. Okay, and in the check on this one, it says the measure of angle 2 is 25, 3 is 45. Can you find the measure of angle 1? So I'm going to label those. Angle 2 is 25 degrees. Angle 3 is 45 degrees. Can you find angle 1? Well, the first thing I always kind of think is like, hey, guess what? These are the remote interior. Here's the exterior. So I found a little trick. They're equal. So if I add 25 plus 45, I get 70, so this one's 70. Now, you guys should be able to find this one in here, this green one in here. If I do 180 take away 70 is 110. All right, here's my next one. It says in the figure, the measure of angle 4 is 135. So I'm just going to put that down right away. This one's 135 degrees. Okay, I know this one's 90. You guys can label that too. All right, and it says, could you find angles 1 and angle 2? Well, there is a ton of different ways that you could do this. I'll just do it one way, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. One way I could think is, hey, here's an exterior angle in green. That has to be equal to these two remote interior. So I know 135 is equal to this angle plus this angle. So 90 plus something is 135. Those two have to be equal to each other. You could write an equation like that. You could call that x if you want. And then I could subtract 90 from both sides. So if I do 135, take away 90, I end up with 45. So that means this angle here is 45. Now, it looks like you could find some other angles as well. I could go this way too. I could say, hey, what's 180? Take away 135, because those make a straight line. I end up with 45 here. And then out here, angle 5, I know these two make 180. So if I have 45, this one also needs to be 135. So I actually just found all of those angles using what we have learned. So why don't you guys take a look at this one? It's on page 400. I want you to try this one. So pause the video, and then when you're ready to try it or see the answers, push play. All right, it says the measure of angle 5 is 147. So I'm going to fill that in, 147 right here. And that's all I know. Oh, actually I know this one is 90. Okay, it says, can you find the other ones? Well, again, you could do it a couple different ways. I really don't care how you do it. One way is I could say, hey, my two remote interior angles, those are equal to my exterior. So I could do 147 is equal to 90 plus that angle 1. So I'm going to do 147, take away 90, and I end up with 57. So that means this one's 57. Now, if I want to find angle 2, I could say, hey, those two make 180. So I'm going to do 180, take away 147. And I end up with 33 degrees there. And then over here for angle 4, those two make 180. So I'll do 180, take away, I think that's a 57. If I do that, I end up with 123. And I just found all of those angles. All right, now we are going to do this one. If you want, you can do this in your notebook or you can do it in your math book. It's up to you. I am going to actually redraw this. I just don't really love the picture that they have. So I'm going to redraw this so I can label it a little bit better. So I know this is 42. Okay, so I just redrew it really quick. So if you want, you can redraw that as well. Now I am going to have to find a couple different angle measures. I need to find CDE. So if I look at my picture, CDE is right here. So I need to find this angle. Okay, I also need to find, I'm going to use a highlighter here instead, angle BCE. Well, BCE is this angle. So I need to find this angle as well. So I'm trying to find these two blue angles. All right, so we are going to kind of use what we know because you guys might notice there's X's in this one, there's Y's in this one, so there's kind of all types of variables. So here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to kind of highlight it. I see that these two angles are remote interior angles to this one. And we learned that these two angles on the inside, remote interior, are equal to that one on the outside. So I'm actually going to set up an equation and say that 42 plus 2x minus 21 is equal to the other angle, 3x minus 21, that exterior. All right, now I'm going to try to solve this. So I'm going to do 42 and negative 21. Which gives me, well, I'm going to keep my 2x, gives me positive 21 equals 3x minus 21. I'm going to take away 2x from both sides. I get 21 equals x minus 21. You guys can go ahead of me if you want to. I'm going to add 21. I end up with x equals 42. Okay, now that's not my answer. That's just what x equals. So I am going to come back to this yellow angle and try to find that first. So I'm going to do 2 times 42, because that's what I got, minus 21. So if I do 2 times 42 minus 21, I'm typing it on my calculator, I get 63. So this angle here measures 63 degrees. Now, cool thing is, if you guys know this, if I have this angle, oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. If I have this angle here and this angle here, 63, I can find this other angle in a triangle. I know together those three have to make 180. So I have 42 plus 63, and then I'm going to see what that equals. 42 plus 63 is 105. And if I do 180 minus 105, I get 75. So this one right here is 75. Now, one of our questions was to find this angle. I'm going to make it in pink now. It was to find this angle. Well, I should actually be able to know that already. If I know this one and this one, together they're 105. So this one has to be 105 as well, because it's the exterior one. So this is 105. I also know that these two together make 180. So I just found that one. Now, as for the next one, here's what I'm going to do. I know that this angle here and this angle here are vertical. So this one's 75. Now I can see that this, and this make a triangle, so they make 180. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to say 75 plus 3y plus 2y equals 180. Okay, I'm going to combine my y's. I have 5y plus 75 equals 180. I'll subtract 75. I get 5y equals, I know that, 105. And then divide by 5. I get y equals 21. Okay, so now that I know what y is, if I want to find this angle, I'm going to do 3 times 21, which is 63. So that angle there measures 63. I could just come back and find this one too. I could do 2 times 21, which is 42 degrees. So I just found all the angles in this triangle using a lot of different things that we've learned in the past. All right, so here's what you guys are doing for your homework. Your homework is going to be on page 403, numbers 1 through 6. Please enter those answers in the online math book. Okay, if you finish those, I want you to try these two for more of a challenge. So again, you don't have to do those, but those would be more of a challenge. So page 403, numbers 1 through 6. Just as an FYI, we are going to have a little graded quiz tomorrow on angles and triangles. It's It's going to be the basic stuff though, nothing too difficult, not like that last one I just did, but more like, okay, if I give you an angle, can you find this one? Can you find this? Can you say, oh, it's vertical? Can you find that? And I will, again, review quickly before the test, but if you've been doing everything you should be in class, it shouldn't be a difficult quiz. All right, if you have questions, please ask Ms. Schutte.